Hello, you're going to see me pause like a mannequin real quick for Facebook as I get my necklaces untangled. Let's go live there. Okay, welcome. We are live. Okay, looks like we are live everywhere. How are all of you? Come on in and tell me where you are tuning in from in the comments section below. Just going to check in with my Facebook crew and let them know that I am live. Give me one moment, you guys. So go ahead and tell me where you're tuning in from in the comments. I've got a really cool So I've got a really cool healing session I'm going to do for all of you today. And so I just want you to come in and try to take 10 minutes for you. So if you can stay with me for the entire 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, I promise you it will be worth it, especially if you're struggling within anything that has to do with your health, that has to do with your energy levels, that has to do with your finances or your mood. If you're struggling with depression, if you're struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, I feel vibrationally we have some people struggling with panic attacks, any type of financial issues, you're going to want to stay here the whole time. So hit the heart button wherever you're tuning in from, the thumbs up on Facebook, like the video, and put your city, state, country in the comments. Quick, this is going to involve sound as well. So I am going to use some sound healing tools, some vibrational frequencies to help all of you guys. I've created a sound room in the back room here. It's such a sacred space to me that I'm not sure I'm going to share it with all of you because I'm really finding a lot of peace with my singing bowls and my drums and all of my vibrational frequency modalities back there. My Rife machine, I have a resonant light Rife machine, my amethyst biomat, everything, my sauna, everything's in one room. And I'm really finding a lot of peace and tranquility and just using that as my healing sanctuary that only I'm familiar with. But I do want to start doing more sound healing videos for all of you. So those of you who don't know who I am Andrea Cox, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox on Facebook and on TikTok. And I have 2 YouTube channels, Andrea Cox TV for health and wellness. There's over, I think, 2,000 living foods recipes there, and the Detox Intuitive for intuitive guidance. I've written 3 plant-based recipe books. The most recent is about 2 years old. It's called Eat Right for Your Zodiac. Although it is sold out in Barnes & Noble online, you can still get it on Amazon and also on my shop at AndreaCox.com. I even have some cooked food in there. And we've got a lot of great recipe contributors. Jason Andrew Robel, who had a vegan show on the cooking channel, he donated a recipe, and so many of my dear friends. So check it out. Definitely get the book. Also, I'm so happy to announce we have a shipment on its way from out of the country of the Lessons of the Mystical Muse. This is a 72 card oracle deck, and it is a deck that I designed with a beautiful artist out of Canada, Ekaterina, my dear sister. And it is now available. You guys shocked me with how many were ordered. Why do I have one card stuck under a book? And I'm not going to mess with it because it'll mess up my whole like Jimmy rig system I have in front of me. So I'm just going to leave it. But it's a beautiful deck. You can see by the colors. We put a lot of time and energy into both the front and the back of the cards. I think you'll find a lot of valuable wellness information, yoga, Akashic records, animal spirit guides, health, everything you can think of is in this deck. So definitely pick it up. It comes with a full-size shadow work workbook where you can really do some deep introspective work upon yourself. And I'm going to get this card because this is bothering me. Hi. I hope this doesn't fall. The card that was stuck was the alchemization card. So alchemy, the alchemist. You can see this woman is in her kitchen, but she's also doing like an oracle reading. She's multi-talented. So maybe that's what we'll focus on today. But what I thought I would teach all of you, and thank you for the hearts and the love and for telling me where you're tuning in from, is how to really heal through vibrational frequency, through sound. I've got a singing bowl and a drum here. How to heal your lost soul parts, how to find those lost soul parts that you feel are gone forever. There we go. Sorry about that. So what are lost soul parts? Lost soul parts are, when you're a child and you're very innocent and nothing's quite alarmed you in life yet. Some people were born into tragic situations, but for the majority of us and the majority of you tuning in, when you are a small child, you come into this world very innocent. And then things happen along the way that make you lose parts of yourself that are very, very valuable. And these parts are extremely needed for your soul's growth and evolution, right? Say you witnessed someone who passed at a young age. Say you lost a parent. Say that there was something tragic that happened to you. Say that maybe you grew up in poverty and you saw like your electricity getting shut off and things like that. These can cause, it can cause some damage to our inner child that protects us and is always there by our side throughout our life. And it can cause us to have to really, really go outside of who we are to mask that pain, that anxiety, and that trauma. So by retrieving our lost soul parts, by doing the work on ourselves, we no longer feel the need to wear a mask to the world, right? And we've all worn masks, myself included. So there's no judgment. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a lot of healing modalities, two in particular, which is a shamanic drum and this beautiful heart chakra singing bowl. So we're going to use the singing bowl. And this drum, one of my client Justin got me. It actually has my name on the back and it says Medicine Woman, Andrea Cox, and I love that. It's a beautiful woman with all her animals around her, and the mallet my dog Maverick chewed. So, he's just making his mark in the world at any chance he can get. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk in particular today about if you have something going on with yourself financially, right? Maybe you're carrying a lost soul part of growing up in poverty. Or maybe you had a parent or parents that were very codependent. Or maybe you had a father that was controlling with money. Or maybe you were in a marriage where someone used financial control on you. And I really want to focus on this area because a lot of my clients that are coming to me that have done very well for themselves in the past are going through transitions right now. And I think it's important to talk about. So you could actually fall into a situation where you're trauma bonding with someone else financially. So trauma bonding is when someone comes into your life at a low time and then things improve in your life, but that person's still there. So there's a trauma bond there, right? It's like if someone's been providing for you for many, many years, and then you start doing well on your own and getting on your feet, and then the dynamic shifts because energetically and frequency wise, even if you love the person, we're talking about people that aren't married, right? I'm very traditional in values. So when you're married, I do feel like the man should pay all the bills and you should just focus on your passions and do what you love to create abundance for the fun things for yourself, like clothes and things like that. So what happens is when we're in a trauma bonding situation with someone else is all those lost soul parts from childhood that are no longer making us who we are. And they're actually the reason we're wearing these masks. All of those lost soul parts come up. Please don't ask to join the live on TikTok. It's very disruptive and I'll block you. Thanks. So what happens is we're trauma bonding with that person, right? So say you're a single woman and you are in a marriage and you decide to, or not a single woman, say you're a married woman and you're in a marriage and you decide to start your own business and it starts doing well. And, you know, your husband's taken care of you all of these years and all of a sudden that trauma bond has formed and there's almost no need. It's like that stigma of control that he's had this whole time is gone. And so now there's a different paradigm, there's a different dynamic. Say you are a single woman and you've been in a codependent relationship with a man and he's provided for you for a long time with good intention, but then you start doing well on your own. And every time you're around him, something feels uncomfortable because the dynamics changed. So that's when we either have a discussion to really put what's really going on the table, and we really call things out in a very high vibrational way, like, well, you've been in control all this time and now I have a wallet of my own, and so, you know, things are shifting a little and I'm a little more independent, yada yada. Things change, things shift, and they move. I've been lucky enough to only be with people who have wanted me to do well financially. I have been, you know, on my own for several years and take care of myself. But I've also, whenever I've been in a long-term relationship, you know, I'm very traditional. Even if the man was providing, it was always, you know, like my last relationship lasted about 4.5 years. He wanted me to do well financially. So it was very supportive. But a lot of you aren't. And what's happened is you've got a lost soul part, which is, you know, that fun, free, childlike little girl or little boy that you once were. And for some reason, it's not coming out and it's blocking you financially. And I want to intuitively, I feel like I'm drawn to pull a card. We have crone. Crone is someone moving into like their 50s, their 60s. So some of you could be single women and you have this anxiety. We also have embrace. So you're being asked to embrace your gifts and your talents. Now, say you're a masculine, say you're a man, and you've worked for a company for several years, and you don't like your boss, he's just a complete ass, but you need that job. But you know, if you left, the whole company would fall apart, but you stay anyway, even though your boss is an ass, because of the money. Finding and healing that childlike innocence in you, that little boy in you, to really go after your dreams and ambitions. And no one's telling anyone to quit their job. Okay, you want to keep your job while you start your business, will really serve a purpose on your soul's journey. So, how do we use vibrational frequency to heal? So the reason I chose I should have chose the sacral chakra singing bowl, but we've got a drum here that'll take care of like the lower chakras, like from the belly button down. So let's start with the drum, actually. No, we're going to start with the singing bowl. So whenever we heal the heart, whenever we work on our heart, we find our authenticity. We find that little girl or little boy inside us that represents who we really are. So what we're going to do with this is I want you to think of a time when you were growing up that there was fear in you surrounding, we're doing finances today because I made that decision once I started the video. So something that provoked fear in you. It could have been, like I said earlier, having the lights shut off in your house, right? Parents couldn't pay the bill. Seeing maybe your father file for bankruptcy, or seeing your mom struggle. I feel like a lot of you are emotional because I'm getting emotional. I'm such a Pisces, so I'm going to try not to get emotional. I don't like to get all Piscean in my own videos, but I will if I have to. Pisces love to cry. It's our second love language. So what I want you to do, wow, I never say in videos and I just said So that means we're hitting core wounds with a lot of you. Some of you could have grown up very poor. And there's a fear in you that there's not going to be enough. But there's always enough. It's actually your divine birthright to be abundant. It's your divine birthright to hold the frequency and the energy of abundance. And it's your divine birthright to be free. So when we start to realize that, and when we start to dive into the fact that we all have gifts, I feel like a lot of you use your hands for your gifts, or you use your voice. Some of you could be in sales. I hope no one can see my socks. It's raining out, so I have socks on with my dress. But others of you have something that happened to you in life that you're supposed to put out there. I feel like this could be for a masculine. You could be a feminine that's a masculine in your masculine energy because you have a lot of responsibility. Welcome. Thank you for the hearts and everything. But I feel like for some of you, males, there's something that happened to you and you're meant to help others heal by sharing your story. And it's going to go great. You don't have to worry. It's going to go great. You will be embraced when you take this step. And you don't have to quit your day job. And I feel for a lot of you women, you need a mentor. You need someone who has gone down the path that you're wanting to go down. Someone could like the color blue, someone else green. Some of you could be wanting to run retreats and they're just not booking. There's a need to seek a mentor or someone who's gone down the road that you are wanting to go down. And there's a need to do it in a loving way. Not a let me just watch and take what I can get way, but a loving, honest, authentic way. Because we never really grow and learn without true teachers that we work one-on-one with. Now, I'm going to grab the shaman drum that one of my wellness coaching clients got me, Justin. I love this. Came with like a letter and everything from the person who made it. And the chewed up, my dog thinks the mallet is a toy. And the cool thing about the drum is it releases the lower chakras. So from the belly button down, that's what drumming does. It's a shamanic drum. So whenever we pound on anything, pounding your hand on a counter, I'm sorry, you guys, I just caught a glimpse of my hair. It's raining out, so I look like Twisted Sister. So whenever we pound our hands on a counter or do any type of light drumming or heavier drumming, it brings up our lineage, our ancestors. And remember that card came out in the beginning. But it also releases us into movement. Drumming helps you move. Drumming helps you move. It helps you get into action. That's what the drums do. So you notice in like bands, a lot of the drummers are usually really wild, right? They have lots of women, lots of everything. Because the art of drumming, even shamanic drumming, is all about movement. When I did I don't think I can say it on here. When I did my first ceremony where you do some frog medicine, and we'll just leave it at that. I did it twice, but the first time I did it, the woman said that I was, what did she say? The student of bowls and drums. It was so cool because right before the big C hit, my sister got me the singing bowl set, and then my client Justin got me this drum. And so it was just a few years later that a drum and a singing bowl set showed up in my life. And she said they would appear, and they appeared. So, you know, if you don't have a shamanic drum or a set of singing bowls, it's okay. You can sing in your shower. You can ask your ancestors through your voice what you need them to bring you. If you have a loved one that crossed over, right? A lot of us have many. You can tell them what you need. Tell them you need healing if you need healing in your body. Tell them if you're cancer-free, right? And you weren't at one time, that you want to be cancer-free. If you want to start a new business and you're financially strapped, tell them you need support from the divine. Tell them to step in. All of these things really, really make a difference. We just didn't appear here out of dirt and matter. At least that's not my opinion. There is a higher power, and I know that differentiates with each of you. I mean, I believe in Jesus, but I have Buddhas all over my house. And yes, I know there can only be one God. I really value Buddhist principles, and I value the Bible as well. And that's okay. My religion may be something very different than traditional religions. So whenever you want to move forward in life, even if you're right, tapping, that's why people invented tapping, because the drumming, the patting, the sound is about movement. It's moving you out of one state, one vibrational frequency, into a higher state or a higher vibrational frequency, or it's moving things out of the body, right? So all of these things hold movement. It's like the wind, right? People say, where does the wind come from? The past and the future. It's constantly swaying back and forth. The wind, the past, the future, the wind. Water is the strongest force to move our energy. Water is very strong. You ever seen the ocean? So, I'm sharing these things with you because I want you to do two things. I want you to invite your ancestors in. Let me see if I can find that card in the deck. And ask them for healing, ask them for guidance, tell them what you need. Don't tell your ancestors, hey, I want this to blow up on social media. They're not going to tell them I want to be provided for. I want to be carried through this time of life by the divine, by you. I'm not going to find it right now. I want to feel safe and be able to sleep throughout the night without worrying about bills, right? Or something else, if finances are your issue. So I want you to ask your ancestors, but I also want you to ask God, Jesus, your higher power, and I want you to use frequency, sound, whether it's your own voice, whether it's drumming, whether it's a singing bowl, whether it's shouting into your pillow, or if you live in an area where there's not a lot of people around, shouting out. Probably a few months ago, I locked myself out when I got up at like 2 a.m. to let my dog Maverick out. I locked myself out in a sweatshirt and a pair of undies. And I was stuck outside for like 5 hours, and I screamed a lot to try to, and I just kept hearing my voice echo over and over and over again. I was like, Jesus, I'm in the Wild West, locked out with wild animals. But I never slept better that night. The next night, I slept like a baby. And the reason I slept like a baby was because I was I was changing my vibrational frequency through sound. If you don't think vibration can move you from one state to another, the Egyptians built the pyramids off of vibration. They believed in that. So I hope this video helped you. And you guys, listen, I have an announcement. We had a really overwhelming response to Ascension with Andrea. I started a group coaching program because I know that a lot of you I don't like when people question my prices. If, I have prices that are lifelong services that are over 100K. So I don't bargain with my prices. But it was easier for me to put quite a few of you in one group to do coaching for a lower price amount because I'm not repeating myself to several people. So I'm going to link that and all my gifts and services in the comments below on Facebook, and on YouTube, it'll be in the description box so you can check it out. And on TikTok, it is in my bio. On Instagram, everything's in my bio. I encourage you to get the Lessons of the Mystical Muse Oracle deck. The next shipment goes out at the end of March, my birthday month. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And hey, do me a favor, subscribe to my 2 YouTube channels, Andrea Cox TV for health and wellness, and The Detox Intuitive for intuitive guidance. Thank you guys so, so much. Have a beautiful day. Be well.
You guys were so good boys. Yes, you good boys. Yes, you good boys. That's a good boy. That's a good boy, Lewis. That's a good boy, Maverick.